computer on and had okay, so welcome to Wellbeing Wednesday. And here we are in the middle of July, July 10th. And we know Michelle is still in the hospital with her dad, so praying for that. But we here have had a busy week, lots of events going on. So I know there were a few announcements too. For example, the walking challenge is still going on. And we'll have you guys talk about that a little bit. And even Sharon got another walking buddy already this week. So keep them coming. There's still time. They can join in because it's all about just doing that one extra step, that one extra thing to keep you healthy. I've been pretty good with sticking with my fuelings, even keeping it cool. It's pretty warm here today. So let's see, we had the walking challenge, and that was the main thing going on right now. But let's just take a little breather out of our day, wherever we are. Sometimes we forget to even breathe. You know, what was it, 10, 15 years ago? Someone asked me, are you breathing right? And I'm like, how do you breathe wrong? If I wasn't breathing, I think I'd be dead. So she explained to me that you have to breathe more through the lower lungs, the belly. And it took me actually a few months, weeks and months of practice to just, oh yeah, I have to breathe right. But if you ever notice when a baby is sleeping, which rises, their chest or their belly? When you look at a little baby,
must be their belly, huh? I don't know.
yeah, it's the belly that rises. And so I asked my husband, because and it's related with if you breathe through your upper chest all the time, that's like the hyperventilation. It's what puts us into fight or flight, or maybe we're already in fight or flight, and it's like, we got to run, we got to, panic. And it's when I started having anxiety and panic attacks. And that's when this friend told me, well, are you breathing right? And so I had my husband watch while I was sleeping. Does my chest rise more or my belly? And he said, the belly. So when I'm sleeping, when we are at rest, we naturally breathe correctly. But it's during the day when we're thinking thoughts and busy and got to do this and I don't know what I'm doing and what's going on and I got to take care of everybody else and I forget how to take care of myself. We actually forget how to breathe correctly during the day. So we're just going to take that minute. Go ahead and put one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. And this works great when you're laying down. Just take 1 minute and just notice. Take a deep breath and just notice which moved a little more. When we're vertical, both we really kind of notice. When you're laying down, you'll notice it more. But just practice this when you're laying down before you get out of bed or as you're going to bed. Just take 1 minute and just breathe normal and notice, and take a deep breath and notice. And then consciously now take a deep breath into the belly area. And if you want to continue to fill the lungs, then fill the upper chest. And over the weekend, I actually found out I do have COVID, my first time in 4 years. And so these breathing exercises have helped me a lot. And I've also found, well, I knew this before, but I've been practicing it. If you have work with essential oils, eucalyptus is really good for opening the upper chest. And so that's why eucalyptus rubs, you rub it on your chest, even in your back, your lungs are still right up there. And pine is really good to open up the lower lungs. So I've been putting those in my diffuser, using them for steam, air, breathing. So anyway, as we've just now done a few deep breaths, we've actually helped reset our nervous system. It's an automatic regulator. So that was a little class that I wanted to explain because in my circumstance, I'm retraining myself to breathe with COVID and get through this stuff. And it's, the last 2 days, I've finally been, good enough to do some laundry and take a shower and actually have an appetite. So feeling better, but the breathing really helps. And we only grow and heal when we're at rest. So the proper breathing, just like babies, why do they sleep all the time? Just like when we're sick, why do we have to sleep so much? Because that's when we're growing or healing. So all that is super important. So I want to hear from you guys how it's been going on your well-being July walking with a purpose. How has that been going for you, the walking, or are you adding something else into your challenge? How about you, Sharon, first? Yeah, mic's already open. Just go ahead.
Walking challenge is going good. I have to be really flexible, and what I want to do, what day. So I kind of look ahead at the calendar or what you got going. But I wanted to add getting to bed by 9:30, and I'm not doing so good with that.
But you're aware of it, and have you
But
done it
I'm
better
aware
a
of
few
it.
times? Have you
What?
done it better a few times?
Say that again.
Have you done better a few times?
Well, yes, well, so I want to be off technology by 8:30. So I've just found myself doing other stuff. I'm not on technology. My intent was to be reading, in the
On
life book
paper.
and doing, that kind of thing. But for some reason I get sidetracked with other stuff and then I'm like, okay. So yeah, I'm on track with walking, but my other little goals that kind of wanted to pair up with the walking, so a
That's
work in
good, but it keeps you
progress.
aware of it, so you actually are improving, even though you haven't done everything perfectly. You're doing better at
At least
several
I remembered what
things, sounds
what
like.
I work on.
Yeah, exactly. And how about you, Kathy? How's it going for you? This
It's
2 weeks
going
of
well.
walking?
Yeah, I've been trying to do the challenges every day. It's super hot and humid here. So today I golfed this morning, so I didn't get my walk in, but I'll go to the Y and do something at the Y later today. So I'm trying to keep up with it.
Great. And can you still hear us, Betty?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Okay. Oh,
It's very low, but
okay,
I
great. Did you have something you wanted to share that you're working on, doing good, or need help on?
I'm still doing, I do the walking too, but I use the shoulder bike. And so in July 1st, I went up to 12 minutes. So I've been doing 10 minutes for a long time. And then the last week or so in June, I went up to 11. And then since July started, I do 12 minutes a day. I've made that. I ran off that calendar and put a little smiley face there. And when in December, when I got the watch, I was doing 1,000 and maybe I could get up to 2,000. And now I'm doing 4,000 most days. And every once in a while I get up to 5,000. So that's awesome. Just in regular walking steps. So, and I think I'm not waddling quite as much as I used to. I'm real proud of that. And then I work on trying to get my teeth brushed at 8:30 because that kind of signals to me you don't have to go foraging for food. Mm-hmm. I don't. I have that tendency to want to. So I say, oh, you brushed your teeth. It must be over with for the night. And then I'm working on decluttering. And I'm actually throwing a couple things away. So I declutter, I keep 5 and maybe throw 1 or 2 things away, but that's better than I did. Yeah. So I'm really feeling, I was just thinking about this the last couple of days about, with this program, I feel like a winner because I thought with the hospital, if I was on a diet, then when I went in the hospital in the end of May and June, then all of a sudden I failed my diet. But I'm not on a diet, so I haven't failed anything. Mm-hmm. I'm still on schedule. I still have meal times in order. I'm still doing things in moderation. I'm following through. Just think it's July, and I still have my resolution that we made in first of January, moderation. Only I have a word, not a, I'm going to exercise 5 miles a day or something. So I'm just thinking of all the winning things that I am doing day by day, that I'm a winner. I'm a winner. And even though, even though I still have about 30 pounds to go, and I'm not losing 30 pounds, but I'm not packing on 30 pounds.
Yeah.
That's right. That's a lot of wins. That's great, Betty. And I like how you said it. You could have thought, oh, I failed, but really you're a winner. You had a very hard situation going into the hospital. I was actually thinking of you when they gave me some of this COVID medicine, and then I'm reading the ingredients and it has aspartame in it. I'm like, why? And I'm like, so yeah, it helps for one thing, and then you give me this carcinogen. So I didn't want to take it. Anyway, they didn't want to take it back either. So I'm like, well, it's for 5 days, and if Betty could do it, I can do it.
They won't take it back. And when I came out, I was morning and night, I would have that little yogurt Activia to replace, because I was taking all those heavy duty antibiotics.
Yeah, now you need the probiotics. Yeah.
And now I'm gone down to I'm down to 1 Activia a day, that I want to maintain that, just to maintain the stomach stuff. And
yep.
But I don't think I need 2 a day, but I wanted to. When I took the antibiotics, and within half an hour I went ahead and took the Activia, just to make sure I don't want to destroy, the good things in my body.
That's right. Gotta put the good stuff back. But it's like you said, you go to the doctor for one thing, but then the medicines knock out another thing. So, but remember, even in all the fuelings, there's even probiotics. Mm-hmm. It's good that you're taking extra because your body needs it right now. But remember, they are complete meals, and that actually helped me through it. I'm like, oh yeah, Betty said, you go to the doctor for this, but it knocks this out. And I'm like, well, I do have COVID, so I'm going to take the medicine they're giving me, and I'm also doing all the other things, and I'm almost exclusively doing fuelings and some lean and greens. So I've got to weigh myself on the scale. I'm not a scale person, but I'm definitely down like 15 pounds. And I'm really glad I had the fuelings in my suitcase this time. And I told my husband that's what I'm doing, and I'm still doing it. So yeah, I figure I got my little meals, my Medifast doctor prepared meals for me. And because I sure didn't have energy to do nothing for 2 weeks. So lots of wins is what I'm hearing. Everybody is doing different things, multiple things, but 1% of this, 1% of this. And yeah, we have our ups and downs, but in general, it's going up. That is what's encouraging. And yeah, we have our bad days and whatever. And then we get to come and say, oh, well, she's still doing it. I'm going to keep going too. So we all encourage each other. And I know that's what I got out of last night. Were you able, Betty, to watch the recording of Deb and Margo last night?
No, I barely get you guys in. You guys are
that's fine.
And half the time I can't.
And I'm so glad you made it here, and that's the most important thing. And we're going to work on a couple of YouTube links for you that are just one click, and then you can watch it.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Yeah. But don't worry about it right now.
And it doesn't always work,
Yeah.
Yeah. And we don't want to complicate it. I was just wanting to ask if. So I know Sharon was there live, and Kathy saw live or the recording?
Recording.
Okay. Yeah, I saw the recording also. So why don't you tell us what you got out of it, Kathy? Even though Deb and Margo aren't here, maybe Margo will show up in a little bit. Hey, Sandy, welcome. So what did you think of their interviews?
Well, they did a great job, and I didn't know all of Deb's story, so that was really powerful too. She's really come a long way. And of course, Margo, I knew some of it, but just again, to hear her and where she was and where she is today. And, just think she's gotten 10 extra years already, and she's still going strong. So, I mean, very, very powerful.
Yeah, 10 extra years from, what did she say? She would have been dead in an hour.
Or
The doctors told her that
Yeah.
she had still the highest, she still holds the highest record for blood sugar in that hospital.
yeah.
Over 1,000. It was like, I've never even heard of that.
I never
Over
even heard of it.
1,000.
Yeah. No.
Even David Bush, did you see his face? He was like,
Yeah. What? Yeah.
I don't think he'd heard that part either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
But yeah,
amazing. that-
super encouraging. What'd you get, Sharon?
Well, it's amazing she wasn't in a diabetic coma,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
How she got that high without going into a coma anyway.
But I just liked what Deb said about that she never felt alone.
Hmm.
And she said, I'm not too old to learn.
Yes, yes.
Lifelong learning. So, and she said something about, if I'm not learning, it's not a good day. So I like,
Yeah, that was
those
nice.
two things that she said. And oh yeah, Margo has an amazing story.
Yeah, we'll probably even recap this again next week when Deb can be on. We want to hear more of the inside scoop. But I was really pleased to hear that too, of how she shared, like, she came on like most people, like, I want to lose a few pounds, getting a little fluffy in the middle. And that's how it starts, but then realizing, oh, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. And, you know, obviously Margo said that too. And I think a lot of us come to that realization. And even that's what I'm telling my husband. He's like, how's your diet going? I'm like, I'm not on a diet. This is how I eat from now on. And I've done it before. I've done it it wasn't with Optavia, but I've done the lifestyle. And I'm like, quit calling it a diet. This is what I eat. I don't eat junk. Junk is not food. And I don't want to feel like junk. So I'm going to eat good stuff. And so it's that whole mindset shift that's so important. And along with that, that was the Tuesday night. So it was like, there's so many things, Monday night, Tuesday night, and then we have tonight, Wednesday night, Dave Blanchard's on twice, if you can catch either of those. So there's always something. And like Deb said, there's a team, there's a crew, there's somewhere to plug in. You're not alone, but don't feel overwhelmed, Betty or whoever, if you can't get in. None of them are required.
But
And
I would
nobody can do
like
every
to-
night. Nobody can, like Sandy can never do Monday night. She's got something else going on, but she popped in Wednesday, 12:30, and that's great. Just do what you can, and just know that the community is there, our crew, we are here. Yes, you can, text Amy, Michelle, or each other, or, that's why it's nice that we have a smaller team too. And it was really nice. I thought it was interesting, Sharon, last night, you were on live. Almost everybody on Tuesday are the coaches that are organizing the walks, the health challenges. They're all, the big names or whatever with David Bush, but they're all the coaches. And then their team comes on to share, like Margo and Deb got to share. But it's like, we're all real people. And the coaches are doing the same as we are and learning from David Blanchard, who's, multi-million-dollar speaker. So was anyone on Monday or saw the recording Monday?
I watched Monday, but then something happened kind of towards the end. I don't know, they must have lost connection or something, and it said host will be right back, but I never got it to come back, so I have to listen to the end of it. But it was really good. He does a phenomenal job.
I was going to watch the recording this morning, and then, we'll just say I slept in and it was great. So I didn't get to the Monday. So yeah, do you want to share what you got out of what did Dave Blanchard Words of Wisdom have for us?
Yeah, he just went into a lot of, it was this Russ, I don't know what Russ's last name was, but
yeah, he's like the one that's hosting it, right?
Hosting it, yeah. He started talking about, and this was new to me, that I didn't know the MetaFast meal plan was this, kind of all turned into be the Optavia. So that was interesting for me to see that. But he just talked about, again, how much, he lost. And again, it wasn't just the weight loss. It was also the mental things that go along with it, you know, and become healthy for the right reason. I thought that was interesting too. Do the right thing for the right reason to become healthy. And they talked a lot about too, I want to be healthy. You know, I get to, you know, how we were saying that we want to say, I want to.
I get to. I choose to.
I get to.
Yep. Awesome. And Sharon, did you have notes or get anything from Monday?
Yeah.
We're kind of going backwards.
Yeah.
Wednesday, Tuesday, now Monday.
He talked about, if you heard his, I can't remember what it was called, but it was like an hour presentation he did a couple months ago. Can't think what it was, but he talked about the vivid visualization, how we catastrophize almost always. We're thinking about what can happen. You know, we're worrying, we're thinking of everything possible that could go wrong. And so we, you know, our mind is in a sense kind of messed up because we're not in the right, we need to shift our mind. And because we're putting ourselves in a fight, flight, or freeze, you know, and then our cortisol, I mean, how we react, you know, and so putting ourselves in a position.
I think she froze.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was me that
Shifting.
but then I saw you
froze. Well, and I didn't realize that either. That, like when we're stressed, you know, that is our cortisol, and that retains fat. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
You know, like when he said that.
But what did they say? I don't know. I don't remember where I read it. If it was in one of the Optavia things, that the average person carries around 5 pounds of toxicity, not in our bowels, that is toxic, but in our fat cells.
Yes.
Fat is where toxins are stored, so they don't go out, the toxins don't go out and get in your body. So that's sometimes when we're releasing the weight, we're releasing the fat, we might feel a little off because toxins are being flushed. And that's why we drink more water too. Get it flushed through the system, get it flushed down where things get flushed. We don't want them in the body, but toxins, and yeah, cortisol serves a purpose if we need to do something urgent. It's never meant to be sustained, but that's why we got to do back to the breathing, because we've forgotten how to not be stressed in our busy lives. So, hey, Amy, welcome, Amy Michelle. I see you there.
And so the comment that he made was, I'm on a journey and I want to become healthy, like Kathy was saying, mentally healthy.
So that's where it's at. And what did you get out of it, Amy Michelle? Or what would you like to share? Even though I see
quite right. Mentally healthy is the only game we're playing here, folks.
Yeah.
It is the game. Yeah.
And the sooner we learn that,
yep,
the better our journey will be.
It's the only game.
If we just come for the physical, boom, we can be done.
The rest is details. And the thing Monday night that he hit upon again was the science part of me geeks out and zones in on the fact that, you know, with my doctor hat on, it's all about the amygdala. We are on automatic. That if you see the message I sent out today, we are on automatic pilot when we react, and we're constantly reacting. And it's because the amygdala is trying to keep us safe. And I love the idea, and I need to roll around in the idea of when you go into fantasy or you go into catastrophe, your amygdala is on fire, because catastrophe is like, oh no, the sky is falling, but you know, how do I keep you safe, right? And then your cortisol goes up. your hormones change. Yes, cortisol is a fat storage hormone. Read the sleep chapter because it goes over those storage hormones really in detail. It's 19 or 20. Is it 20? 19, I think. It is true. It's absolutely true. When I'm not sleeping, when I'm totally stressed out, I will see that scale creep up and you start retaining water and toxins carry, to your point, right? And it's just, yeah. So we got to always remember that we're not broken. Our willpower isn't broken. Our amygdala is just afraid that we're going to die. Something's going wrong. There's a catastrophe. And if you're in fantasy all the time and you're never reaching fantasy, which hit for me, if you're always living in fantasy, like this is what I want my life to be like, and then you're never reaching it and you're never feeling like you're or you're never making progress toward it, then that's also alarming to your amygdala. And it's also trying to protect you because, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a really interesting point.
You're never getting, it's already alarming you because you're behind, you're not there, somehow you have to get there and you're not there and that's not safe, right? So your brain is translating it into, you can't live in la la land, but you can't live in fear. You have to live in the now. The only time we have is now. And then here's the other thing. And we talk about this in the life book, is your current reality. And then he broke down current reality in element 3, desired state, right? So that's in element 3. But he breaks it down to, hey, the joy is in this pursuit of it. And my neuroscientist, my favorite neuroscientist, says the joy is in the daily pursuit of it, just like Dan said on Monday, Dave. That's where the dopamine hit is. When you get the small wins, you get a dopamine hit, and it's like the dog getting the treat. It's like you know what I mean? The dog gets the treat, he gets a dopamine hit. Oh, I did good, right? So every time
I do that again.
Oh, I did good. Every day, every check mark you give Betty off your list, and every time, we get to check mark our list or we get to win the day. That's what bridges the gap between current reality and desired state, fantasy. Your fantasy life, right? But you can't live there because that's stressful. It's too stressful. Every time you fail, it's a stress. It's not, so I love that he's like, the joy is in today. Win the day. Win today. Win the moment, right, Benny? Right, Margo? Win the day. So that's what I got on a Monday. That was just brilliant. It just breaks down the hormones.
Instead of the catastrophizing, which we tend to do, well, what if I left the iron on? What if the house burned down? What if, we got to go home right now?
Yes.
What if it's fine? What if it's all going to work out? And not to freak you out more, Amy, but you're in a life and death with your dad's situation. What if? And for yourself, what if you go into the surgery room and that's it? You don't come out. But what if you do? And what if it got better? And what if it helps? And what if Margo's daughter didn't take her to the hospital that hour? What if? And we were talking about you, Margo, by the way. Most of us saw your thing last night, even if we weren't there live. Sharon was live. Thank you for sharing.
It was beyond brilliant. But think about this. Whenever you start a diet, if you've been a chronic dieter, you're already in catastrophe. You start diet in catastrophe because you're already waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're already thinking it's going to fail, like Margo said last night.
Like, I have to do this.
Yes. Like, you're always waiting for the failure is going to come. And that's so it makes perfect sense why it doesn't work. You have to shift the mind. Margo, you did a brilliant job. Round of applause. Deb did a beyond brilliant job. It was absolutely amazing. So yeah,
yes. So Margo, we've heard bits and parts of your story, and the way you told it last night, I was like goosebumps. Whoever the hostess was last night, was it Gina? She was like, she couldn't find words. And David was like, what?
Yeah, you stumped
Even though we've all heard bits of your story. So thank you. And I'm sure there's a million things that you probably left out, but we love having you here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I love being here. Trust me. Big time.
Yes. It's
big
mutual.
Time.
And Kathy said you got 10 years on your life already. You know?
Yeah.
When you think about that, and you're still going strong.
My dad's calling. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, it just when you look back at it, and they're saying tell your story. There are so many different elements to the story, but there definitely are some very key elements in my story that led me to today. And part of that is, you know, one of the things they said on Monday that hit me was unmet expectations have a ripple effect. And if you go into something thinking that it's not going to work, it's not going to work. And for the most part, ironically, in my case, I went into it thinking it was not going to work, and it worked. And my negative became a positive, and I will be ever thankful for that instant back in 2014 when that all started. Because
you have a lot of very significant demarcations.
Yeah, it
milestones,
started a
landmarks.
it started a real ripple effect all the way through. But the biggest effect is when I finally faced what I had let myself become. And I looked at myself in the mirror every day, and I did not see a 5'2", 260-pound, 65-year-old woman. I just saw me.
Yay.
I just saw me. That was it. And then when I looked at myself and then was able to look at the changes, it was like, yeah, shoulda, coulda, woulda, you know. But again, I hadn't found Habits of Health and Optavia before.
Yeah, and that right mindset.
Yeah.
And that's what we want our friends, our family to see. We're doing this because we finally respect ourselves enough and
Yes.
and want to feel better and are willing to do our part.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not a big it is a big huge deal, but it's not a big huge deal. It's just that simple.
Well, and it's like the first aha, of course, was the diabetic moment. That was massive. But all it did is make me realize, well, yeah, weight is an issue. I've got to watch it. I've got to make sure I'm cutting out my sugar and drink more water. And and so I need to lose some weight. And you start looking at all the different diet programs, and they aren't working, but you think you're doing something. So it's okay. And then something else occurs, the heart attack. And it's like, okay, I've been doing something, but it's obviously not enough. Now what do I do? And you start trying all the other things again, and they don't work. And it's like, where do I go from here? Well, at least I'm trying. At least I'm doing something. May not be the right thing, but at least I'm doing something.
And it's moving forward.
Yeah, and you're moving forward and you accept that. And then something happens in your life that brings you face to face with it all. And the right moment occurs. And it's like, I go crazy. I tell Dr. Amy this all the time. Drives me crazy when I go out in public and what I see what our public has become. And I just want to walk up and grab them by the shoulders and shake them and say, do this. Or when I'm talking to somebody that I know needs the program, and I go, you got to love yourself enough. You got to do this. And they don't do it. And it just, you know, I try to say, don't think something bad won't happen, because it can.
Yeah. And that's the hard part, because we do care. And we do want to help people, and we do have big hearts, and we've seen how it's helped us. But how many health talks were you in? You know, how many health scares did it take for you personally? So these other people, they're not ready, and we can't live other people's lives. We can only lead by example. And, you know, maybe even speaking better about, you know, not the program, the diet, you know, it's not all about Dr. A. Yes, it is, but it's because we've incorporated it into our lives. It's like, I have found this works for me. I am listening to my body. I feel better when I do this. You know, maybe that's easier for people to hear, and just the way we word it. But that's all part of the mindset that we were talking about. So
Well, and the
it's just,
crazy thing in my case, I'd love to say I had this wonderful aha moment when I discovered habits of health, but it was my job.
yeah,
I had to present this for my work, and I said I can't present it if I haven't done the program. I wasn't doing the program because I thought it was the latest greatest thing or it was going to be the answer. I was sure it wasn't going to work like everything else hadn't worked. So, but I told my boss, okay, if you want me to do these presentations, I'll do this program. And if I feel it's really qualified or quantifiable, then I'll do the workshops. But if I can't say that, I can't represent it.
mhm.
And then look at it worked, you know. So I was really a lucky one because I was walked into it. I didn't go into it gently into that night by any chance or means. I was walked into it, and thank goodness. And like
Yeah,
you say,
that's
Carrie, it's so,
interesting.
that's it. It's so hard because if other people don't have that have to,
Yeah, they're not
and
ready.
make the choice on yourself, you're not ready.
Yeah.
And
And that's funny. Just as you're saying it, it reminded me of me. It's like I only tried the products and stuff because Amy hired me to be her secretary. She's going in. And I'm like, I ain't eating that gross food. That's not even food. That's just powder stuff.
yeah,
Yuck. And
yeah,
I ain't going to all them seminars as before and after, people talking, blah, blah, blah. But I'm so into personal development. You know, I sign Amy up for some of these stuff. And I'm like, oh, have you seen this? And give me that recording. And now it's like, because it's the personal development side. And just like Deb was saying, it so much becomes the emotional transformation.
Right.
And that's usually what people aren't ready for.
yeah,
And a
yeah,
lot of people aren't ready and willing to do that,
yeah.
the inner work. So
And that's what it was. I mean, I started losing weight. That was good. But what I was realizing in my personal transformation is what my aha moments were. It's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I could
that's it
feel
right
this
there.
good. I didn't know I could have this kind of focus or this kind of energy or whatever. And I didn't realize how far afield I had gotten. And then when I
Yeah, and
started
that's why we
bringing it
need
back in,
so many different testimonials and the celebrations. This is last night, the Tuesday. It's every month now, once a month, but celebrating second Tuesday. It's just what has worked for someone else, and that's going to click with you, or that's going to click with your friend or your family member. You know, that's why it's so important to share, you know, and sharing sheds the shame,
well,
and
and I will say
it's
last
going to
night
be the inner motivation for somebody.
I was a little hesitant when I talked about my diabetes, and I was so dramatic when I said an hour later I
For
would have
1,000.
dead.
Yeah,
But
that's a
you have to think about that. That 1
Well, we're seeing
hour.
Amy's food choices now.
Yeah.
Amy, what are you doing to us?
But that 1 hour
Saying,
made
yeah,
a
this or
whole
a fueling.
difference.
Let's think about it.
Made a whole difference in my life, and people needed to know it could be that serious that quick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
That
literally.
Yeah.
wasn't
Not
too
even
dramatic.
an overnight thing.
That wasn't too dramatic. That was your life, girlfriend.
yeah, true,
Yep.
true.
Yep.
Gee, and
Yeah,
we love your
it
friend.
might
there.
have been at the time drawing people into the drama triangle, but it was literally a life or death emergency situation.
It was.
But you turned it into a great life lesson for a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah. You know, the other thing that I heard Monday night that I liked was feed your body
yes.
by
Yes.
what will serve it, not just what you want for it, what will serve it. And that's huge.
Yeah, and that's been me lately. For years and years, I've been like, how do you be intuitive? How do you listen to your body? And you know, they say listen to the whispers so it doesn't have to scream at you. I mean, your body was screaming at
Yeah.
you, Margo. And
Wouldn't
we've
it
all
be-
had moments like that,
Did you
but
see
Yeah.
did you see my story yesterday? Did you
No.
see that? Since I've awakened, all of this looks like poison.
Oh, yes.
oh yeah,
yes,
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And look
I
what's
was just
behind
thinking,
you.
I'm looking behind you thinking, wouldn't it be exciting if one day we could look at that and it would say, get something healthy from the Optavia machine?
Right.
Wouldn't that be
Oh,
amazing?
when I was traveling, oh, I wanted to tell you guys this. Through the airport, I don't remember which one it was, but international airports, they had, you know how we've talked about mason jar salads,
Yes.
the dressing at the bottom, and then
Yeah.
they had vending machines with mason jar salads.
Oh,
Mhm.
I don't
wow.
remember the brand,
Wow.
but it was like amazing. I'm like, I had just eaten a steak, so I wasn't hungry. But I was like, I want one of those just to see if they're, and then I saw someone eating one, you know, a few rows down in the boarding room or whatever. But it's like, okay, there are finally getting to be some options out
Oh,
there.
that's so
Vending machine.
cool.
Yeah, and
That's
it
so
said
cool.
free and whatever on it. And
I tell you
Yeah.
what, you ever need any motivation to be well, spend a day in a hospital, go to the ER, see how packed it is. Right, Betty?
Yeah.
Go to the ER. The ER is packed. He had to wait and wait and wait to get even a bed upstairs. And then, right? And like
Dave.
people are dying to get in. Like there's a waiting list to get a room. And ICU full. Walk around the halls. It's an abomination, you guys. And it's the standard American diet and way of life, period. Most of this stuff is not genetic anymore. It's epigenetic. It runs in families because it's epigenetically programmed, not genetically, but it's
Yeah.
familial traits that have been, but it's
Culture.
not, but you can unflip epigenetics. You can rewrite the story
But
by
on
changing.
and off.
You can turn those off.
You know how I'm untechnical, right?
Yes.
You've all me fumble. When I took Jean to the emergency ward a week or so ago, and I was in there, and I just went to get a cup of coffee, and I went there, and they had this beautiful vending machine like the one behind you. It looked gorgeous. I looked at that. It had all kinds of stuff. This was almost midnight, but you know what? I couldn't dig in my pocket for pennies and nickels and quarters. Oh no, I had to get technical and do this and that with something on something. And I thought, thank you. You just saved me from a midnight run of junk food.
Because it was too hard to get in.
If
Yeah.
everyone can just switch their mind, and every time you see this, you think poison.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
I did. I actually made a chart and I put it on the fridge for my husband. Like, these cooking oils are poison, sugar is
Mhm.
death,
Mhm.
you know, and avocados are bonus points and, you know, whatever. But I made it like a game for him, and it helped because he
Yeah.
does most of the.
And
Yeah.
there was a point in time my digestion was so bad and I had such undiagnosed bowel issues, which I didn't know was enteric nervous system at the time. Really, it was my stress that was causing it all. But I was eating a diet, the blood type O diet, eating these foods are poison for your body and these foods are nutritious for your body. And that's how they talked about it in the book. These foods are poison for you and these foods are these are your nutrients. And I literally started thinking about food that way. And
Yeah.
then I could literally compartmentalize that. No poison, can't eat that right now, you know. And it was really great. And I'm
Yeah.
so sorry, I'm like budging in here, but I just wanted to, I had to share with you guys that that I'm so proud of you all, and I'm so honored. I'm so happy to have you. And I was looking forward to this for myself. Deb gave you guys all the shout out last night, and you know,
Hey, Deb.
y'all just keep showing up for each other and living out loud. And I don't know, this whole thing is tripping my amygdala. My Amy is on fire, right? Because there's nothing that is like, no, hurry up and wait and hurry, like, and then you have zero about what's going on or what's going to happen. So I'm, needless to say, I'm
That's
really
a lot
working
of
on
unknowns.
staying calm, right?
Unknowns.
And just be in the moment, like Dave said, being here now. be here now. Today, now
And
is
you
all
are.
we get, right? And that's all we get just right now. So getting too far in the future puts your amygdala on fire. So, and before we have to end too, I wanted to just say, I was thinking for the walk about getting something together in person. Haven't done that yet for the July challenge. I would love to do an in-person event, but I live really close to Coach Carey and a couple other coaches, but I thought maybe it would be fun, and this is an idea I thought I'd shoot out, is to just schedule a Zoom time where we're gonna walk, and everybody, like what Roxy does, get on Zoom,
Yeah.
walk.
Roxy every day.
I mean, how fun would that be? Just, I mean, we're all walking. We can just it would be hilarious, right?
You should just do, walk and talk. There's Roxy. Roxy,
Yeah,
it's all good.
Roxy,
All right,
be
walk
into
and
it, like
talk.
walk and talk. Everyone get on a Zoom. We don't have to be in the same. How fun would that be, right?
And Roxy's
Would be
working
fun.
right now, but
You
all right,
like that
tell
idea,
us, Roxy,
Roxy?
what do you think?
I can drive to Iowa if you let me know what time.
You
I
would
had-
drive to Iowa?
I had already told
Just-
my friend that we're gonna make a 5K at the end of July.
Are you?
Yes, I don't know where. I mean, I didn't give them the details, but I said we just have to finish strong.
You mean you and your group? Your group is
Our
gonna.
team, yeah.
So we could
My
all
group-
like, we could just set up a Zoom and walk with Roxy or something. We could just
Yeah,
do.
you don't have to drive.
You got the name of the event. Let's walk with Roxy.
All you need to know is
Right.
Zoom on your phone. That's it, and then you're in. It's that's as easy as that. Margo, now
Yeah,
you couldn't
or
be sitting
phone
at your
call in.
computer, but
Well,
you could sit at your computer and just
I
watch.
could do,
everybody
well,
walk.
I could do some. I could
Yeah.
do
I
some.
could sit
So,
and walk in place.
We
yeah,
could walk in place.
See, I'm walking through the
Yeah.
mountains right now.
What?
You
Yeah.
wouldn't know the difference.
We
Yeah.
could walk in
Yeah.
place. That's actually a great idea. I love that. If you can't walk in place. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome. So
I got a kick Monday night. I think it was Monday night, the coaching one with the gal that was walking through the whole
Yes.
program. I was getting worn out. I was listening to everybody and I kept catching her with the corner of my eye as she's walking along, and I'm going, oh, I need a break. I'm getting worn out here. It was
Yeah, Monday
cool.
night's a workout.
Yeah,
Hey,
she,
Roxy. Hey, Roxy, did you hear on Tuesday night, last night, at the end of the interviews, they pulled the winners for the week, and you got 2 on your team that are winners. So I hope
Yeah.
they contact you. I didn't
Yeah.
remember the names.
Yeah,
Okay.
I already told them.
Good.
Watch the recording, and I have a little group with the ones that are walking, and I told them. I
So
told
let
them
us know what your
What if
5K
they
is.
win?
Let
What
us
did
know
they
what your 5K is, and we'll walk with you, and then we'll set another time to do it between now and then, at least once or twice.
Yeah, I'll do a 5-minute walk, not a 5K walk.
That's fine.
I'm with you, Carrie.
Thank you.
that will be fun.
Very good company. And then Sandy's on too. So we know you're listening, Sandy. So awesome that you could join a little bit. And just to
You
wrap it
remember-
up, did you have words for wisdom for us today, Margo?
Of course.
Oh, wait.
All right.
Go ahead.
Just want to let you know, through August 9th, they just put out, Optavia just put out, all the new people have a $75 off Commit to Health discount. So every single package, whether it's the, prescription med package, it's the active package with the protein and the EAAs, or it's the 5-in-1, it's a literal like $200 savings per kit, guys. So be thinking about your friends and their pocketbooks. Okay.
Hey, that's a new client.
Yep, new client.
New people who've never tried it before. Yeah. But that's
Did you say 75% off? What did you say?
$75 off
Oh,
plus the
$75 off.
$115. So it's $200 essentially off each kit.
Oh,
So
okay.
it ends up being less than,
Almost half price.
it's almost less, it's less than $2 per serving of for each kit. So
For a few
depending
things.
on what they need or what they want, right? We have different plans for different kits and things.
Oh,
so.
you got the email today, Kathy? The link is in there. It
okay,
gives
I'll
a
look it up.
chart and lots of details. Yeah, it's on the
Okay.
Oh, that'd be
the
set.
hostess coach's email for the agenda today.
Okay.
All right, words of wisdom, Margo.
All right, this is an easy one today. Because you see, these ladies are now fertilizing daffodils. But if you listen real close, You can hear them whisper their legacy to you. Go on, lean in and listen. You hear it? Carpe. Hear it? Carpe. Carpe diem. Seize the day, ladies. Make your lives extraordinary.
Yes.
Short and
Wow.
sweet.
Oh, I love
Yes,
it.
it is. Words of wisdom.
Thank
Words to live by. And wow, yeah. With that, if whoever can watch Dave Blanchard tonight. Got 2 options. But let's make healthy lifestyle second nature. And have a
Yes,
happy
ma'am.
week.
Win
Yes.
the day, all win the day.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Give your
Bye-bye.
dad our love. Give your
Thank
dad our
you.
love.
Thank you. Keep me in
Oh,
your
you're welcome.
prayers.
Yeah. You're still in our prayers, and your dad, let him know.
I will. Thank you.
And
Love
Bye
you.
bye.
on the recording, Deb, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.